Hey, it's Dr. Ron here, and it's the start of a new week. Let's make sure that it's a good one because it's the only week we've got to work on. So let's do our best. I'd like to start the week by talking a little bit about persistence. As you know, persistence is one of the keys to the type P personality. Uh, and what is not quite well known is that there is a twin to persistence, and that's patience. The ability to stick with something over time, but at the same time being able to tolerate doing it without getting too bent out of shape about it, without quitting too uh, abruptly early. Persistence is necessary for achieving our goals, particularly if there's a bit of a to achieving those goals. Now, we can't be persistent unless we're willing to be somewhat patient and see the goal as being worth it. Now, I know some people will think, well, I'm just not a patient person, I'm too impulsive, and so on. Persistence and patience go together, and both of them can be learned behaviors. So, patience is a learned behavior. Some people probably are biochemically more predisposed to it than others, but it's something that we can learn. And like so many other things that we can learn, the process starts with what we tell ourselves inside our head. So, one of the things that's real important is to keep reminding ourselves, why are we in this? Why are we uh, focusing on this particular job or this particular challenge or this particular race or whatever it may be? Because there is a cost to quitting. So if we understand why we're going into this, what is the downside of us falling short? Many times we're going to find that the downside is not something that's going to be very terrible. It may be inconvenient, it may be slower than we might like, but how does that compare with the upside? Will it help us to achieve the job that we're trying to achieve? Will it help us to acquire greater income? Will it enable us to become involved with the person or group that we want to be involved in? What is the goal and what is the cost for quitting? And there's no doubt that sometimes the cost of quitting isn't all that bad. But that's because the goal isn't that important to start with, too. Thomas Edison said that so many people reach a point of quitting. I'm paraphrasing it, but so many people reach a point of quitting when just a little more effort would have gotten them over the hurdle. In other words, they quit just a little bit too soon. So if we can tap into that patience, if we can begin to ask ourselves, is this goal worth it? If it's worth it, how hard can it be to just persist? And what is the cost of quitting? The cost in terms of time spent, the monetary cost, and also the self-concept cost. Quitting something that's not very important is different than quitting something that's important, because the cost and self-concept when you quit a goal that's really important to you can be pretty significant. So think about that. Think about the fact that patience can be learned. The fact is that on the way to becoming more patient, we may have some slips and slides along the way, but that happens with any kind of learning that is worth learning. So keep that in mind focus on both patience and persistence, and remember that while persistence is one of those identified P's in the type P personality, patience also begins with the letter P too, and it's the twin of persistence. Looking forward to talking with you again next time. As always, I'm glad to hear from you with your reactions. I also hope that you will join the mental health gym if you haven't done so already. I hope that you'll become aware of and join our newest group, which is really called Growing Older with Enthusiasm. And I will be happy to answer any questions that you have about our coaching and educational programs that we do through Rejuvenating University. Until next time, then, it's Dr. Ron Kaiser, hoping that this week will be a great one. And don't forget, you've got something to do with that, with how it's going to proceed. Take care. See you soon.